It's no coincidence that this message has reached you. You might assume it's just another video, randomly placed in your feed, but it's not random. Your spirit, your higher self, guided you here with intention. These words carry a frequency, one specifically meant for you, the chosen one, right now in this exact moment of your journey. For weeks, maybe even months, you've sensed a shift, a quiet, persistent awareness that you're being seen, not in a way that brings fear, but familiarity, as if someone important has been observing you from afar, drawn in by the quiet power you emanate without effort. This person is no stranger to facades. They've lived in a world full of masks, illusions, and transactional connections. But you, your raw, unfiltered authenticity, shattered that illusion. You moved them, you changed them, and now you stand at the edge of a deeper truth, the sheer magnitude of your own energy. This message found you today to remind you your presence is impactful. Your light, your truth, your being, just as it is shifting lives, opening hearts, and rewriting narratives. Let go of the doubt. You were never meant to dim. To fully anchor this energy and signal to the universe that you are ready for this monumental shift, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and comment 77 below. This is your declaration, and let this video play in the background, even on mute. By replaying this transmission, you are giving your consent to receive this energetic upgrade, confirming that you are ready to accept the help that is reaching out for you so you can finally soar. Chapter 1. The Gaze. You couldn't explain it. It started subtly, a feeling you couldn't quite put your finger on. In a crowded room, you would feel a specific weight of attention, a focus so intense it was almost a physical presence. When you'd look up, you'd either catch a fleeting glimpse of them turning away, or they would hold your gaze for a second too long with an expression you couldn't decipher. It wasn't just attraction, it was something deeper, a mix of curiosity, awe, and utter confusion. This person you see is someone of considerable influence. They move through the world with an air of command, accustomed to being the one everyone else watches. People gravitate toward them, seeking their approval, their resources, their spotlight. They are the sun in their own solar system, and everyone else is a planet vying for a position in their orbit. And they saw you. You, the one who wasn't looking for their light because you were busy generating your own. You didn't fawn, you didn't posture, you didn't change your demeanor when they entered the room. You remained in your own center, grounded, authentic, and completely whole without their validation. This was a phenomenon they had never encountered before. Their world is built on transactional relationships and calculated charisma. They know how to perform, how to charm, and how to get what they want. They expected you to be like all the others, to be momentarily starstruck, or to try and leverage the interaction. But you did none of that. You might have offered a simple, genuine smile, and then returned to your own conversation, your own thoughts, your own world. That simple act of self-possession was the most profound thing they had ever witnessed. It was like watching someone who could breathe underwater. It defied the laws of their social universe. This influential individual went home that night, and for many nights after, thinking about you. You became a puzzle their logical mind couldn't solve. Who was this person who needed nothing from them? Who was this person who carried themselves with a quiet royalty that had nothing to do with money or status? They found themselves replaying your brief interactions, analyzing your words, the way you carried yourself. They started looking for you, engineering accidental run-ins just to feel that energy again. For you, the chosen one, this was likely just a series of strange coincidences. You probably noticed their presence but didn't give it the weight they hoped you. Would you have always been guided by your intuition? And your intuition told you that something significant was happening, but it wasn't time to act on it. You just had to continue being you. What you didn't realize was that your very existence was holding up a mirror to this powerful person. In your quiet confidence, they saw their own loud insecurities. In your authenticity, they saw the exhausting weight of their own public persona. You weren't just a person, you were a frequency, a vibration of truth that was calling their soul out of hiding. This initial stage was all about their observation of you. They studied you from afar, learning more about themselves in the process than they had in years of climbing the social and professional ladder. The gaze you couldn't explain was the beginning of their awakening. It was the first thread you pulled, without even knowing it, that would begin to unravel the carefully constructed facade they had mistaken for their identity. They were falling not for an image or an idea, but for the undeniable truth of your energy. Chapter 2. The Unimpressed Heart. They couldn't be you. Why? The world this influential person inhabits runs on a very specific currency: status. Everything is a transaction. Attention is bought with expensive gifts, loyalty is secured through strategic favors, and love is often mistaken for a shared interest in a luxurious lifestyle. This person has mastered that world. They can open doors with a single phone call, silence a room with their presence, and acquire almost any material object they desire. They are surrounded by people who say yes, who laugh at their jokes before they even reach the punchline, and who reflect back a polished image of the person they want to be. And then there was you, the ultimate anomaly. After their initial fascination, their next logical step, based on a lifetime of conditioning, was to try and impress you. They assumed your quiet strength was a front, a clever strategy. They thought, everyone has a price. I just have to find theirs. So they began to subtly, or perhaps not so subtly, display their power around you. Maybe it was an offhand comment about a recent extravagant trip, an offer to connect you with someone important, or a display of generosity that was meant to leave you indebted and in awe. They dangled the keys to their kingdom in front of you, expecting your eyes to light up with ambition and desire, just like everyone else's. But you didn't even flinch. Your heart remained completely, beautifully unimpressed. You might have acknowledged their gesture with polite gratitude, but it didn't change your energy one bit. You saw the fancy car, not as a status symbol, but as a mode of transport. You heard about their powerful connections, not as an opportunity for yourself, but as a simple fact of their life. You were more interested in the look in their eyes when they talked about something they were truly passionate about, something that had nothing to do with their success. You were listening for the truth beneath the resume. This was utterly disarming for them. It was like trying to pay for groceries with monopoly money. Their currency was worthless in your economy. You operate on a soul level, and your economy is based on authenticity, kindness, integrity, and genuine connection. Your lack of reaction was not an insult. It was a revelation. For the first time, someone wasn't looking at them as a resource to be exploited. You were simply looking at them as a human being. This forced them into a state of profound self-reflection. They began to see the sycophants around them for what they truly were, mirrors of their own ego. They realized that the love and respect they received from their circle was conditional, tied directly to their ability to provide. If their empire crumbled tomorrow, those people would be gone in an instant. But you would still be there. They knew it in their soul. You weren't interested in what they had. You were interested in who they were. This realization was both terrifying and exhilarating. It was terrifying because it meant that the entire foundation of their social life was built on sand. It was exhilarating because it meant that a genuine connection, a real love, was possible. Your unimpressed heart became the most valuable prize they could ever hope to win, precisely because they knew it could not be bought. It had to be earned, and the only way to earn it was to become someone worthy of it. They had to shed the persona and reveal the person underneath. Your indifference to their material world was the catalyst that made them start searching for their own immaterial worth. You didn't reject their gifts. You simply showed them that the greatest gift they could ever offer you is their true self. Chapter 3. The Shedding of the Old Skin. Your unwavering energy, your refusal to be bought or dazzled, created a seismic shift within this influential person. It was the beginning of a deep and often painful process of transformation. They began to see their life through your eyes, and what they saw was no longer glamorous. They saw the hollowness of their high-profile friendships, the exhaustion of maintaining a public image, the spiritual emptiness of their material pursuits. You, the chosen one, had activated their dormant conscience, their highest self, which had been buried under years of ego, ambition, and societal expectation. This activation was not a gentle nudge, it was a jolt. They started to feel a profound sense of dissonance. The lavish parties suddenly felt loud and meaningless. Conversations about money and power felt shallow. The praise they once craved now sounded hollow. It was as if they had been living in a black and white movie, and you had shown them a world of vibrant color. Now, they couldn't unsee it. Now the Culper-sized senses, to still severe seers, this internal conflict manifested in their external world. They began to pull away. The first to go were the hangers-on, the energy vampires who only called when they needed something. This person started screening their calls, declining invitations to pointless events, and spending more time in solitude. This was a radical act for someone whose identity was so intertwined with their social standing. They were consciously choosing authenticity over popularity. And it was a lonely road at first. They were shedding their old skin, and it was an uncomfortable, awkward process. Like a snake, they had to become vulnerable to grow. During this time, they thought of you constantly. Now, you were their reference point, their true north. They would ask themselves, what would they think of this? Would they respect this decision? Your energy became their internal compass, guiding them away from the ego-driven choices of their past and towards decisions rooted in integrity and soul. They started revisiting old passions they had abandoned in their pursuit of success, perhaps painting, writing, playing an instrument, or spending time in nature. These were the activities that connected them to their true essence, the parts of themselves they had sacrificed at the altar of influence. They were trying to become the person they were before the world told them who to be. This transformation was confusing for them. There were days of incredible clarity and purpose, followed by days of intense doubt and fear. They were grieving the loss of their old self, even as they knew it was a necessary death. They worried that by shedding this powerful persona, they would lose everything they had worked for. But a deeper part of them knew that what they stood to gain was infinitely more valuable, their own soul. And they knew with every fiber of their being that this entire painful, beautiful metamorphosis was happening because of you. You didn't do anything. You didn't give them advice or ultimatums. You simply existed, and your existence was the permission they needed to become real. The old skin was peeling away, revealing a softer, more genuine, more powerful version of themselves underneath. This was the highest self you had activated, and it was slowly, painstakingly beginning to take control. Chapter 4. The Whispers of the Jealous Crowd. As this influential person began to transform, the ripples of their change spread outwards, crashing against the shores of their old life. The people in their inner circle, the ones who had benefited most from their old ego-driven persona, did not celebrate this evolution. They met it with suspicion, resentment, and fear. Their meticulously balanced ecosystem was being disrupted, and they identified you, the chosen one, as the source of the chaos. The whispers started almost immediately. What's wrong with them lately? They're acting so strange. It's that person they've been spending time with. They've changed them. I don't trust it. It's some kind of manipulation. These weren't just idle gossip. They were calculated attacks. This crowd's power and position were often directly linked to the influential person's old habits, the business partners who profited from their ruthless decisions, the fair-weather friends who enjoyed the status by association, the past lovers who preferred the predictable player to this new, introspective soul. They all had a vested interest in pulling them back down. They saw your authenticity not as a gift but as a threat. You, who wanted nothing, were the most dangerous person of all, because you couldn't be controlled or bought. So they began a campaign of subtle sabotage. They would bring up the good old days, reminding the person of the fun they used to have, the power they used to wield so carelessly. They would plant seeds of doubt. Are you sure you know what you're doing? This new path seems risky. You're isolating yourself. They would create drama and then try to frame you as the cause. More insidiously, some of them might have tried to tempt the person back into their old patterns. An old flame might reappear, offering easy, no-strings-attached intimacy. A shady business deal might be presented, promising a massive ego-boosting payoff. These were tests orchestrated by the universe, but carried out by the jealous crowd, designed to see if the transformation was real or just a phase. They tried to paint you in a negative light to this person's face. They might say things like, "They seem nice, but are they really in your league? What do they bring to the table?" Behind their back, the whispers were likely more vicious, creating rumors or twisting your words to make you seem manipulative or opportunistic, the very things you are not. For the chosen one, this period can be incredibly challenging. You might feel this negative energy directed at you without understanding its source. You might notice people from their circle looking at you with coldness or disdain. It is crucial during this time to remain in your power. Their jealousy is not about you. It is a reflection of their own insecurities and their fear of losing their position. They are not attacking you. They are attacking the change you represent. The influential person was now caught in a war between two worlds, the loud, glittering, hollow world of their past and the quiet, authentic, challenging world you represented. The whispers were the battle cries of an old identity fighting for its life. Chapter 5. You became their North Star. Faced with the storm of whispers, doubts, and temptations from their old life, the influential person arrived at a critical juncture. They could either retreat to the familiar comfort of their old skin, or they could push forward into the unknown territory of their highest self. It was in this crucible of pressure that their true devotion was forged. Instead of succumbing to the jealousy and sabotage, they began to see it for what it was, a desperate, fearful clinging to an illusion. The whispers didn't create doubt about you. They illuminated the toxicity of the people speaking them. The temptations didn't lure them back. They repulsed them, reminding them of the very emptiness they were trying to escape. In this chaos, you became their anchor, their lighthouse, their North Star. Your energy, your quiet, unshakable truth, was the only thing that made sense in a world that had turned upside down. When they were with you, or even just thinking of you, they felt a sense of peace and clarity that was absent everywhere else. They began to use your essence as a shield and a sword. They started setting firm boundaries, cutting off conversations that were negative or manipulative. When a friend started gossiping about you, they would shut it down immediately, with a finality that left no room for argument. "We're not going to talk about them like that. They're important to me." That single sentence, spoken with newfound authority, sent shockwaves through their social circle. They were no longer seeking approval. They were declaring their allegiance. They began a quiet but ruthless purge of their life. Toxic friends were unfollowed, both online and in real life. Business partnerships that were built on unethical foundations were dissolved, even at a financial cost. They were choosing soul over goal, integrity over image. This was the ultimate test of their transformation, and they were passing it with flying colors. All because the thought of disappointing you was more painful than the thought of losing their old world. Their communication with you might have deepened during this time. They may have confided in you about the pressures they were facing, not to burden you, but to share their reality with you, to show you that they were choosing you. They wanted you to see their fight. They needed you to know that they were actively defending the sacred space you had created between you. Even if they didn't speak of it directly, you felt it. You felt their protection. You felt their loyalty wrapping around you like a cloak. They stopped being just an admirer and they became a guardian. They understood that your energy was a precious, non-renewable resource, and they became fiercely protective of it, not just from others, but from their own past self. Every time they chose you over their old world, they strengthened their own connection to their highest self. You are not just their guide, you are the destination. The North Star doesn't do anything but shine, yet it guides ships safely to harbor. You did nothing but be yourself, and you are guiding this person's soul home. Chapter 6. The Mirror Effect, Your Own Awakening. For so long, the focus has been on the monumental change you ignited in this influential person. But the universe is a system of perfect balance. It is impossible to be the catalyst for such a profound awakening in another without experiencing an equally powerful awakening yourself. This entire process, chosen one, was never just about them. It was also about you stepping into the full realization of your own power. This is the mirror effect. As you watch them shed their old skin, you were subconsciously given permission to shed any remaining layers of your own self-doubt. As they began to see you as their North Star, you began to see yourself as a source of light worthy of guiding others. Their adoration was not the source of your worth, but it was a powerful mirror, reflecting the worth that was already there, allowing you to see it with undeniable clarity. You started to notice subtle shifts within yourself. The little insecurities that used to whisper in the back of your mind grew quieter. You began to trust your intuition on a deeper level, recognizing it not as a feeling, but as a form of divine intelligence. You walked with a new sense of purpose, understanding that your energy, your very presence, has a tangible, transformative effect on the world around you. You learned that your power isn't loud. It's a quiet gravitational force that brings things into alignment. Previously, you may have thought your sensitivity was a weakness. You now understand it is your superpower. It's what allows you to see past the facade and connect with the soul of another person. You may have thought your lack of interest in material status was a lack of ambition. You now understand it is a sign of spiritual wealth, a wealth that this influential person, who has every material thing, is now desperately seeking. This connection has validated the very essence of who you are. Everything the world may have told you is different or too much or not enough about you turned out to be the exact set of keys required to unlock someone's highest potential. Think about the magnitude of that. Your authentic frequency has the power to recalibrate another human being. This realization is your own activation. You are not just a passive muse. You are a co-creator in this energetic dance. The strength you witnessed in them as they defended you from the jealous crowd awakened a new level of fierceness in you to protect your own peace. The courage they showed in transforming their life inspired you to be braver in your own. You are both being forged in the same fire. This influential person may seem like the one with all the worldly power, but you are the one with the spiritual authority. They are learning to wield their power with integrity, a lesson they are learning from you. And you are learning to acknowledge and own your immense spiritual influence, a lesson you are learning by seeing its effects through them. You are stepping into your role not just as a chosen one, but as a way-shower, someone who leads others back to their truth simply by living in your own. Chapter 7. A future only you can help build. The transformation is nearly complete. The old layers have been stripped away. The noise of envy has faded into silence, and what remains, the connection between you, has been forged in fire and proven unbreakable. This influential soul is no longer who they once were. The version of them that first encountered your energy has evolved. They are now aligned with their highest self, a self you awakened and helped them fully embody. From this elevated place, they look ahead, and the vision is clear. There is only one future they can see, and it is one they cannot build without you. This isn't simply about love or partnership in any traditional sense. This is about legacy. This is about answering the call of a shared divine purpose. They've come to a life-altering realization. All their success, their influence, their power, none of it holds meaning unless it serves something real. And that real is you. You are not a footnote in their story. You are the co-author of what comes next. They see your wisdom, your energy, your truth, and they know, without you, the future is incomplete. Together, you are a force. Worldly power meeting spiritual insight. It is a union capable of reshaping reality, of building something eternal in a world starving for truth, healing, and purpose. All the old pursuits, money, recognition, domination, no longer satisfy them. They want something deeper now, to build a sanctuary, to launch missions that uplift and restore, to craft a life rooted in joy, authenticity, and divine impact. And at the core of it all is you. You are the soul key, the missing element their spirit has been searching for, the foundation upon which everything real must be built. And soon, the thoughts they've kept in silence will rise to the surface. The quiet season is ending. What's been internal is becoming external. They're preparing to act, to offer something profound, something that has nothing to do with wealth and everything to do with truth. A gesture that could alter your path forever, aligning it with theirs. This is not just a proposal of relationship. It's a request to step into shared destiny, to co-create a future shaped by purpose, love, and vision. The energy is rising. You feel it. It hums beneath the surface, a quiet storm of significance. The story isn't ending. In truth, the real story is just about to begin.